What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Sideline Thoughts. In this episode, John and I we're going to get into some NBA and some NFL. David is unable to be with us again because he is not feeling too well. He did get a little sick. He can't really talk much. So you got us once again another week. We're getting back right into it. Deep dive into it. The first thing that happened over the weekend, John, your and David's Los Angeles Lakers just won the in-season tournament. Just won the first ever in season tournament. It's already, given they're saying LeBron won the first or something. They're praising him and everything. It was a great win. Extreme you guys were extremely dominant over the Pacers, a very young Pacers, who did very well. But first we'll focus on the winners, the Lakers. So John, what do you think? I've gotten word that, maybe you should apologize a little to the Lakers after the last time you're saying they need
Well, to
some
be
help
fair, they
and
played the Pacers, bro, in the championship. They didn't play the Bucks. They didn't play them. They got the championship. I'm happy for them, but we didn't play real competition.
But what do you mean a real competition?
We didn't play
The
the
Bucks the
best team.
Bucks
I
were
mean,
in. Look, the Bucks were
they
in.
didn't play them.
But whose fault is that? Is that the Lakers' fault or is that the Bucks' fault?
The Bucks just don't care about the in-season tournament. I want to see in the finals they can beat
I
the
really, I
Bucks.
really, I knew they was gonna say that. There's a lot of people that are gonna say that. Even Clipper fans say that it doesn't matter, dude. It does. Look, as a Clipper fan, it
He
does
got
not
his
matter.
cash, bro.
But
He
look,
got
as
his
a Clipper
cash.
fan, it does not matter whether it matters or not. It's always you should always try to win whatever is there. And that's a bad mentality to think if you're the Bucks saying that they don't care. Because John, you don't know if they cared or not. Really don't,
They
because they
don't.
made it to the elimination rounds. They made it to the elimination rounds.
Well, they played up to the games that mattered because that's the ones that count. Then they oh, you know what? I don't care. It's whatever. We're just
That
not going to play the championship
I don't
game.
think that's what they
It's an
did.
extra.
I don't think that's what they did. That's what I've been saying. But
No, I'm just
aside from
joking.
that, Pacers made it instead of the Bucks, instead of any other team that were in there.
It's because Tyrese Halliburton's a beast.
He is a beast. He's really good ever since even
The
in
Lakers should have never
Sacramento.
passed on him in the draft.
But aside from that point, John, again back to the Lakers. You were saying they need a lot of help, so now they were able to win something.
Well, they're a little bit healthier now, so I mean that helps a lot for sure. I mean they got LeBron playing better. Anthony Davis is playing like he should be, and then they have some guys like I was saying. Their bench is just so. Like Gabe Vincent sucks.
He
He
does.
has his games, but like it's not really good. Like the Lakers have Austin Reeves, who's like their main man down there, obviously. So like, and then they have a bunch of no namers. Honestly, honestly, I don't even pay attention to. I just think their lineup's decent. They're better than the Suns, I think, just because the Suns don't have Kevin Durant right now. But if the Suns were healthy, they would beat the crap out of the Lakers right now. That's
No
my.
namers. They have Rui Hachimura. They have Cam Reddish.
He's a no namer. No namer.
No, that's criminal. That's criminal. That is criminal. Cam Reddish is such a great defensive help
Yeah, but
to,
he
to
can't shoot.
transition from defense to offense on it. Rui Hachimura, when he has a great game, he goes off. Even Max Christie, who isn't like a baller,
I don't even
is
know who the
helps
hell that
off the bench.
is.
What?
I don't. I just know like the
What?
freaking starting lineup, bro.
Dude, Jared Vanderbilt, he's
I know who
playing
he is. He's a
phenomenal.
good defender. He's a good.
Coming, yeah, exactly. Good defender. He's almost a starter at times when healthy, staying healthy. He's a starter at times. He's
We gotta call
great
Dwight Howard
defender.
back, bro. We need Dwight.
No, we don't. They play really great, especially in the final thing. The Lakers were led by AD. They were led by AD, who had 41 points. 41 points, led by AD. He had his own double double. 41 points, 20 rebounds, 5 assists. LeBron at that same game had his own double double as well. 24 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists. Reeves, which a big part of their win because they won by 14. Reeves came out big time, having 28 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. Did usually on the stuff. Like I said, also a big part of it was um um Jared
Cam
Vanderbilt
Reddish.
and Cam Reddish. The big part of that game. Not looking on the way from the group stages to to the eliminations to get to win it all. Lakers, of course, went undefeated. Their closest games was two games, both of them by the Suns, beating the Suns by three
But they
points,
didn't
both
play the Nuggets.
in the group stage and in the semifinals. That I mean not semifinals. I'm sorry, in the quarterfinals.
I wanted them to play the
Um,
Nuggets though to see if they could beat the Nuggets, and they
again,
didn't.
the Lakers have no control of that. Like there's no
Oh, I'm
control of that.
saying that's the best
Ye-
team in the West, and they
yes,
lost
I
to the
agree.
Dallas Mavericks yesterday,
I
which is sad.
But
That's
look,
on them.
this was I was gonna lead into this point. Although the Lakers won the tournament, I don't think this means they are the best team in the league.
Hell no.
However, I think it means they are strong contenders for the NBA championship.
Sure, second round again. Goodbye. See you home. They're gonna
Again, they
go
were
home in the
third
second
round last
round.
year.
Well, yeah, that's right. Conference finals last year, but they're gonna be
They were
second
third
round
round.
this year.
I
I
don't know.
think.
Suns
I
aren't
think
staying
Nuggets,
too healthy.
Suns are a lot
Warriors
better than
are
them. The
Warriors
Warriors
are
suck.
falling apart on their own.
It's because Draymond, bro. He's an idiot. He's a
Yeah,
goddamn
but
idiot.
players aren't playing at their highest potential anymore. You're gonna say the Rockets are there. Just looking at the
Suck.
standings right now,
I'll tell you, it's Dallas, Phoenix, and Minnesota, and then Denver are the best teams in the West, and then it's Lakers. Lakers are gonna be sitting at 5 at the end
look,
of the season.
right now it's Minnesota, like you said. I think they're gonna fall under pressure. It's Thunders right now at number
Thunder won't make
two.
it.
How are they going to do it? Mavericks, I think Mavericks have done very well, so they can. The
They're
Nuggets,
meshing
right now, the
together.
Nuggets are four, but like I said, I think they're still the best team. They can go back to back, so I'm keeping the Nuggets there. For Kings at five, I think they're a really tough five. Um, they might, in my opinion, the way they play is a bit lower, but it's by
Did you see
record.
last night's game against the Clippers with Paul
hmm
George?
I, I,
But
I was gonna get into that.
yeah,
So Lakers at six, Clippers at seven. I think Clippers deserve to be seven, maybe even lower by the way they've been playing. Suns at eight. Again, Suns are dealing with the injuries, especially starting off most of the season while Bradley Beal in the beginning, and then now KD getting hurt. A lot of that. Rockets dropped from the top four to number nine after having a great run. Warriors also dropped to 11. Pelicans dropped. Grizzlies dropped. So John, there's a lot of these, but if you're looking at it, how many of them are really going to the Western Conference Final or can really make it? You know,
I'd say about
to
six.
face the Nuggets.
6 of the teams there.
16. So you're saying the Suns can make it,
Mm-hmm.
the Mavericks can make it.
Mm-hmm.
What other team can make the Western Conference Finals to play the
Nuggets.
Nuggets? To
Oh,
play the
sorry, played
Nuggets.
Nuggets. Lakers, Clippers. Let's see. So that's 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kings. You know, I'll say
Okay, you say,
5. I'd say 5. Yeah,
but
we'll
that's my
stick with
point.
5.
The Lakers won a very good tournament. They played really well even throughout the entire tournament. And just like them, the Pacers went undefeated until the final where they lost. They just couldn't do it at the end, but they played really good throughout it. I mean, they had very close games. Um, honestly, their best game was scoring 157 points against the Hawks in the group stage, but that was also the closest win, which was a 5-point win. Pretty much the Pacers look so good, and like what they look similar to what the Pistons are trying to do, but like better. Like the Pacers are doing good at what the Pistons try to do. The Pistons try to get young players and possibly even trade for other players. Like they got Wiseman and all these other players try to trade young to be good, and they're doing bad. In the last month, they're 0 for 20. In the Pacers, on their hand, once getting some young players, they were able to trade even the star players. They trade Sabonis to the Kings for Halliburton. They were also able to get healed, so all these trades have been looking very well for the Pacers. Now, making it to the final to me does not mean they are the best team in the East, but just show that they are contenders in the Eastern Conference to go
Yeah,
far.
yeah. There's only the Bucks, and that's it. I think the Bucks are just gonna make it no matter what. That's it's not much competition in the East, to be honest. Celtics are good. Bucks and Celtics, I want to say.
The Heat,
Nah, they're mid.
I don't think so. I think the Heat, the hard
They're
work.
damn mid,
It
bro.
it again, it's by records. A lot of stuff. So again, Pacers there. 76ers, I don't think would make it. Orlando Magics, I don't think so.
That's what I'm saying. Mid,
Knicks,
mid, mid,
I
mid,
wouldn't.
mid.
No, I think the Heat, the Pacers, Pacers lower, but possibly. Bucks, of course. Celtics, of course. I agree with you. Cavs, if they make a crazy push, sure.
Nah,
But
they ain't
that's
doing
kind of
shit.
it. That's kind of it. If the
There's not
Cavs make that
much.
push, it's
All the
not.
teams are in the
It's
West
not.
are the best. The West is the
Yeah.
best.
So but yeah, and sticking to basketball, since you brought up the Clippers,
Yeah.
yeah, I've saw their win, their 20-point win against the Kings last night, and so from the last episode we did, I don't think we talked about basketball the last episode we did,
No,
but
we
since
didn't.
then to now, Clippers have played 4 games. They won all 4 games, and out of those 4 games, only one game was a great win. That was against the Nuggets. To beat the Nuggets that had Jokic and Murray that game. But in the 3 games after that, literally, because that was the first great win, the Nuggets. 3 games after that, they had played 3 games in which Kawhi Leonard needed to score 30 plus points in order to win the game. Needed, not just like casual, like if he didn't, they still would have won. No, like he needed to score in order to win. The first game against the Jazz, he needed to score 41 points and 20 points from Paul George just for them to win, just for them to get the win. Right? They won by 14. So you needed 41 and 20 from your 2 stars to win by 14. Then the next game, they struggle to keep a comfortable lead against the young Portland Trailblazers, who are rebuilding. A young team rebuilding, who had the second overall pick was for Scoot Henderson. You couldn't even keep a comfortable lead. They ended up winning by 5 points in this game, and in this game, um, for the Pacers for the Portland Trailblazers, Anthony Simmons dropped 38 points, followed by Shaden Sharp with 27. You tell me that's who was cooking us? Because we have the Clippers have no defense at all. That was cooking them, and from that, in order to win by 5 points, Kawhi needed to drop 34. Paul George and Harden needed to drop 20, 18 from Zubac, and 16 for Norman Powell. You're
But
telling me that game was really
surprisingly,
good?
last night I don't know if they only gave up 99 points. Isn't that like the first time in a while they've given up less than 100 points?
I don't know how long, but yeah, it's been a minute. But again, that was one game where they couldn't reach 100, while the other 3 they reached 100, and their defense is bad. Again, don't like the Harden trade. We gave up some defense, but even the win yesterday, John, they beat the Kings by 20. Okay, Kawhi needed to score 31 points, 15
Mm-hmm.
from Harden and Powell. Paul George had a very bad game with only 9 points.
But he's hurt.
It's, you only got 9 points. If you're not gonna play, if you're hurt, then don't play.
He's got groin tightness.
Again, this is my point. And they were lucky that the Kings, De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis didn't really show up.
No, not
They
really.
didn't really show out. So Clippers got 4 wins, yes, but only one of them was really good. Other than that, putting that much on Kawhi, needing not just putting on Kawhi, aside from the 41 points and the 20 from Paul George against Jazz, which one sucked the most is the Trailblazer one. Needing essentially 74 points from your 3 stars, plus almost 20 from 2 other players, just to win by 5. It's not good, and it's allowing Anthony Simmons to drop 38 and Shaden Sharp to drop 27. Terrible, terrible defensively. They it's almost like they should have lost that game. But Anthony, you want to say on that?
No, I think you covered it, man. Pretty much, the Clippers are just an average, decent, above average, decent team, but nothing special right now. It's
Yeah,
pretty much how you see it. They won a couple good games, but other than that, they haven't really beaten the Bucks. They haven't beaten the Lakers. They haven't beaten the Celtics. They haven't beaten the true contenders. They haven't beaten the Suns. They beat the Warriors, but the Warriors aren't good.
I
They're
thought
just an average team.
thought they beat the Lakers. Yeah, they lost to the Suns, but other than that, Warriors, Draymond Green fighting on the court again with Nurkic, swung and
He
turned
might
around
get
and swung his
suspended for
arm.
15 games, bro. Like low
They,
key, just
they, it looks like he doesn't want to play basketball anymore. He wants to play a different sport.
He wants to box. He wants to join the UFC, I guess. I don't know what's
See,
going on with him.
put him in the UFC if that's what he wants to do. He's always constantly fighting. So I think Warriors are gonna they have like enough of it with him. And
Can you blame them? He's ruining
I
the
mean,
chemistry.
they spent the good times with them already, like winning the championship and things like that. It's eventually time to move on. And he said he knew it. He said even I think like 2 years ago he said that he's felt that it's a business, and if the Warriors feel like it's time to move on, he understands that's what it is. So
Yeah, he's just trouble. Trouble comes when he's there, you know? Nobody really wants that baggage. That's why he resigned with the Warriors, because nobody wanted him. I mean,
yeah,
sure, he can be your aggressor, but God, who needs an aggressor these days when you just shoot the ball? That's pretty much all this freaking league is now, is shooting threes. There's no one that's like trying to enforce the paint as much. That's the wrong era. That's the early 2000s with Shaq. We don't do that anymore. But yeah.
yeah. So anyways, yeah, I think Pacers are doing very good. Just mentioned, like I said, they're doing great with a young team. They're looking solid at the East, so they could establish themselves as a really young team, especially led by Halliburton and Miles Turner. The veteran Miles Turner, led by Halliburton, the young one. You have a veteran, technically a veteran in Heel, who he never planned out the way that people thought he would have, but he's doing pretty well. Plus, championship caliber, a level playing from Bruce Brown. So let's see how the Pacers do. I think, just other teams, Mavericks are doing so much better than I thought. I really thought they weren't going to be that great. They're doing so much better. Thunder is playing as a young team, able to get crucial wins. In my opinion, led by Shea, and I think he's, just leading this team, helping this team push over to being in the playoffs. If they're able to keep this consistent, I think they may end up in fifth or sixth, fourth at best. Um, But yeah, just little things. Pelicans, we've heard by Zion, he's not listening to the team's dietitian about how to eat, how to lose weight. They want to lose weight, and he's not listening. He just continues to eat. So
It's okay.
not
Let him
looking
eat.
too good. But yeah, but moving on,
Yeah.
moving on from NBA. That's
We
just
gotta
really
talk
great.
about football, bro.
Yeah,
Did you
we're
see the
going to
Vikings
football.
Raiders game? 3-0.
Terrible,
That was the
terrible
best
game.
game ever, bro. I spent 60 minutes watching that crap. Got one good drive. Dude, Josh Dobbs looks like the best man in fantasy these days. If you have him,
Yeah,
bro,
in
take
fantasy.
him. He's available, guys. He's out there.
In fantasy, but dude, looking at the team, oh my god, bro, you got well, the Raiders side looks even worse. They were only efficient on third downs 3 out of 14 times, while the Vikings were 8 out of 20. Still bad, but at least it's eight. Fourth down efficiency, Raiders were 2 out of 2, while Vikings were 1 on 1. But looking at it, Vikings allowed 5 sacks, while the Raiders allowed 4 sacks. Both of them punt a ton, right? You got 9 from the Vikings, 8 from the Raiders. Raiders had 2 fumbles lost, 1 interception thrown. It is terrible game, bro. Terrible game. I Justin Jefferson getting hurt again, taking a major hit to his
Yeah,
back. Oof,
sad. It
not good
really
at all.
is.
Not good at all. Very disappointing. I really thought Vikings were gonna win by a lot on that one.
What
I
about
had, I had,
the
I had no idea.
what about the Rams Ravens game? Did you watch that exciting game, bro? Like the way
I
that
saw
game
part of
ended?
it. It was actually a really good game. It was a really great game. Um,
Can't
I
believe
mean,
how
I
it
thought
ended
Ravens were
though.
gonna. Yeah, I mean, I thought Ravens were gonna win anyways, but I didn't think it was gonna be in overtime, and I didn't think they were gonna need the touchdown from the return touchdown to win it. I thought
Yeah, it's
Ravens were
crazy.
gonna just take control in the game, and Rams showing up, even being.
They
I
look
mean, Rams
good.
were up, they were down.
They're gonna make the
Eventually,
playoffs. I think they'll squeak in.
you think
They'll
so?
win. They play the Commanders this week. That's an easy win. They'll make it. I know they play the
Yeah,
Niners one more time, but I could see them beating the Niners low key. I don't
I
know.
think so.
It's. I mean, it's possible. Nothing's
Possible,
impossible. It's
possible.
week 7. It's the last week of the year. The Niners might be benching some of their players. They might beat them. Think of it that way.
You're right. Possible, but I don't think so. John, I was wrong about Steelers beating the Patriots. I told you I thought the Steelers were going to win. And I was right. It was a must-win game and lost by
Told you
three
the Patriots are
points.
better.
Lost. They're not bad. they bring the town. They bring the other team down with them to their level. That's what it is. Um, but Patriots were able to get the win, so good for them. Jets, crazy win against the Texans, 30-6. In the beginning, it was very close in the beginning. The first two quarters, it was like 0-0, 3-0, 6-0. Like it was so close, but CJ Stroud gets hurt, eventually with a concussion. Nico Collins, after not having after Tank Dell being out for the rest of the season, Nico Collins gets hurt. So it's very unlucky for the Texans that these injuries are coming in right now. Another game, John. I think it was a very good one. Well, not your Browns, but the Browns defense able to get a win against the Jags. Yeah, it was a very good game in my opinion. I thought it was a lot
Jacksonville's
better than
struggling
what it
right
was.
now on
They are,
defense.
but
They have
the game itself was better.
yeah, because they lost to the Bengals. I mean, the Bengals actually they don't look bad without Joe Burrow right now. I mean,
No,
they beat the Colts by a lot too.
Brownie's not doing a bad job leading them.
No,
Um, Bears get the win over the Lions, very important divisional win.
I think
Very
Justin
strong
Fields has
divisional win.
motivation. He doesn't want to get someone drafted over him, so he's trying to play his heart out right now.
I think so
That's like
too.
true, man.
I think so
I
too.
mean,
And even let's just say even if the Bears choose to draft Caleb Williams anyways, Justin Field could he after trade go somewhere else. He's building his stock up to earn
yeah,
a
he
spot
needs to.
somewhere else. So I think it was a good win from the Bears. John, your Seahawks losing to 49. You guys kept the game. You
I
guys
told
kept
you
the
I was
game honestly.
expecting it. They won't come in through the end because the team is just not built to win towards the end of the games. They just don't have that right quarterback.
Yeah, you're right. But as long as you guys were able to keep
They're
the ball in
competitive every game, but they
Mhm.
don't except when they play the Ravens. But yeah, they don't win. They just can't. They don't have the freaking right quarterback to do it. So like they have a good enough team to win. They just I mean like to win it like to make the playoffs like
Yeah,
if they had a better quarterback.
yeah,
But
yeah. You're
obviously
right.
it's just not there. So that's what's holding them back. Hopefully they'll do something about it this offseason.
Well,
But
giving a little props to you. This time, you guys were able to stop Christian McCaffrey from making the end zone, even even though he had like a 75-yard run.
well, Seattle's
Because
defense isn't bad.
no, but
I
you
mean,
guys gave him a 75-yard run, which almost was a touchdown, almost. And they gave it to the I forgot who they gave it to instead, but they gave it to him instead. It wasn't a touchdown for Christian McCaffrey. You guys were able to stop him, and once again, this is the second game now this season that he doesn't have a touchdown. So from week 10 now to week 14, 2 games he doesn't have a touchdown in. He's probably gonna bounce back next or this coming up week since it's against Arizona. Um, David's not here, but his Chargers losing to the Broncos divisional game. Chargers are pretty much done for the season, in my opinion. Justin Herbert's out with a broken index finger. They lost 24-7. In my opinion, even during it, still the struggles. I think Chargers fans, instead of suffering of whether or not they're going to make playoffs or not, they could kind of be satisfied that they know they're not going to make playoffs, and hopefully this leads to Brandon Staley getting fired. And
yeah. And then you have what's it called?
then
The
great comeback.
Cowboys.
I was going to say great
Cowboy.
turnaround for the Broncos from being terrible
Uh
in the beginning of the season to now being second in the division.
yeah, they're great right now just because they're playing all the bad teams right now. But yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
great! But yeah,
they're playing the Lions this week, so we'll see what they do with that. If they beat the Lions, we'll see. That'll put them in a good spot for the playoffs. But yeah, I mean, you saw the Cowboys dominate the Eagles. The Eagles are in a little rut right now, unfortunately.
a little. People are kind of calling them frauds. I don't think they're frauds.
No, they're
Um,
not. They're good still. They just ran into some good competition. I
yeah,
think they're going to beat Seattle this week, so
it's
that's
interesting. Now we're gonna see because now one Cowboys winning that game that put Niners at number one, securing the first. They already secured the first spot in the playoffs. Cowboys are now at 2, and Eagles are now at 5. But if the Eagles win out, and I believe the Cowboys lose one,
Well, the
they
Eagles have
split
a
it
much easier
easier.
schedule.
Yeah. hmm So interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, dude, Cowboys were just more dominated. They went more. They looked more confident in playing. They didn't struggle as much. The Eagles struggled quite a bit. They had to settle for field goals, for 2 field goals, and it was kind of a disappointing game on the Eagles' end, defensively and offensively. So I like
Yeah.
how it's stirring up the the little playoffs. Uh, the news of the week, John, the
Oh,
Bills
your
and Chiefs.
Packers?
Well, we could get into that right after, but the Bills and Chiefs, and what was a really great game. I think the Bills played really well, getting off to an early lead, getting one scoring the touchdown first, then eventually getting the interception from Mahomes, leading to another touchdown for them, growing the lead, and then of course the Chiefs come back, score a touchdown, and then the Bills do what the Bills always do is never hold a lead, and they allowed the Chiefs to come back 17-17 late in the game. Luckily, the Bills were able to get the field goal, and in the play that pretty much was the game-winning play by Kadarius Toney,
Offsides.
offsides. And now the topic is, so now the Chiefs were saying that it was a bad call at the time because they said they shouldn't make a call like that, which a call like that was made for them in the Super Bowl, right? The so-called holding by Juju Smith-Schuster, or on Juju Smith-Schuster. Same type of call that determines the game. I don't know why it doesn't make sense why Cheese would become, well, in the moment, of course, they're complaining, but looking back in hindsight, I realize it's been given to them before. You have no room to complain on that. Second, a lot of the talk is inconsistency in the NFL with the referees, and I agree. There's a lot of inconsistency, not because they called that play. I think they made the right call. It's Kadarius Tony was offsides 2 times prior to that call in the same game, and those two were not called or warned to Andy Reid. So I understand that he did not gain the warning. I understand that, but they weren't called before. So like the refs have to be more consistent in their callings and
Yeah.
saying like, "Hey, you call that earlier," and then Tony's gonna make sure not to stand there anymore. If he does, then continue calling the foul, be consistent. And while in other games in the league, again, players stand like that, and they do get warnings or they don't get called. So you just need more consistency in the NFL, you know.
Yeah.
And then just to end it off, my Packers, like you mentioned, we lost the Giants by 2 points, 24-22. Missed a 2 point conversion at the end to make it a 3 point game, which would have tied the game. Um, the Packers played bad overall. Jordan Love played bad offensively. Well, of course, offensively, he played bad. He was overthrowing open players, um, throwing into double coverage at times. He was throwing short on wide receivers, missing them. I think also on Matt LaFleur's part, he was making some very poor play calling play calls. He was making very poor ones. So you saw a couple jet sweeps that didn't work 100% or didn't really work at all, in my opinion, during these games. I think Jaden Reed had a really nice game. Romeo Dobbs had a very solid game. Um, like I said, Jordan Love just picked it back up a little bit, but still wasn't looking too good since the start of the game. That first half was very bad on his end. So, in my opinion, he ended up with went from 25 for 38 complete attempts. He went 218 yards with 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Packers run game was all right with Dillon, Reed, and Taylor all getting a total of 121 rushing yards plus 2 rushing yards from Jordan Love, but it wasn't enough. The Packers did make a lot of mistakes. They did not capitalize on a lot of mistakes, made too many. They were lucky that the Giants special team messed up and that was able. But however, we're not able to get a touchdown on that. They only got a field goal. So those are the mistakes in the red zone. Unable to score touchdowns, settling for field goals twice. Um, and in defensively, they weren't doing good. They weren't able to stop the run game. And not only that, they made Tommy DeVito look like a great quarterback. That
And
man will.
Saquon, man. Saquon went off.
That's what I'm saying. They were not really able to stop the run game, and then the secondary was almost like nowhere. And when it came to stopping the passing game, nowhere. And leading that to the Giants played really well, in my opinion, better than what they played a lot throughout the season. You know, Tommy DeVito has shown that he can be the quarterback to guide them right now, and I think he's very, very good. He had 0 interceptions, 0 sacks this game. He had 1 touchdown, 158 passing yards with 71 rushing yards. That's very good for a
Yeah.
quarterback like this who's just coming in, the undrafted free agent rookie. The run game was really good for the Giants as they ran for 138 yards between Saquon and the other players, with Saquon leading and with 86 yards of his own. So I think overall the Giants is playing very well in that game.
Yeah, man. I mean, Giants, they played good, but they're obviously not a good team. So, I mean, the Packers just
Yeah.
had a bad loss, and that's pretty much what happened there.
The thing is, they ruined the Packers' chance of like solidifying a spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, the Packers have to fight a little more now, unfortunately, to
Mm-hmm.
get it because they play the Vikings, right, coming up.
The next 4 games in this order, it is Tampa Bay next this week,
That's a tough one
uh,
for them.
Carolina Panthers,
Easy win.
Minnesota Vikings,
Easy win.
Chicago Bears.
The Bears might give them a little trouble. The way they've been playing lately, they might.
Well, like I said, I'm sticking to my what I said in the beginning that the Packers will sweep the Bears. I'm sticking to it. So I think the Panthers and the Bears are a win. I think they might lose to Tampa Bay. So I think the one to determine if they get a playoff seed is the Vikings game.
Dude, the Vikings scored 3 points. You think they're really
I
going to lose
know,
to the
but
Vikings?
again, but we also saw they play against the Niners and how they play against these other teams.
That's when
They're
they
not
had
bad.
Kirk. Kirk
No, the
Cousins is playing.
Niners.
Yeah, they played Kirk Cousins that game.
I thought Dobbs was playing that game.
No, it
I
was Kirk
could have gotten it
Cousins.
wrong.
It was
Dobbs played
Cousins.
very well too. So
He
that's what I'm
had.
saying. I'm just saying it's more of a 50-50 game against the Vikings, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, man.
but anything else, John, you want to add to it?
No, man. I think we covered our NFL.
Yeah,
Thanks for
keep it
joining us,
really quick.
everyone.
Yeah. Well, guys, this is Sideline Thoughts. We got the episode this week. Tune in next week for another one. Thank you, guys. See you guys next time.
Yeah. See you later.